Boiii! Welcome everyone, this is your Trophy Boy. 2021 has just begun, the COVID-19 pandemic still has the world on lockdown, and until most of us are getting vaccinated, we will be stuck at home for a little while longer. And while we're social distancing in our lockdown cities, one thing that we all agree saved us from becoming completely mad out of pure boredom is video games. So thank God those exist. But what if you're stuck at home with your siblings, roommates or partners and they want to spend time with you to not feel so lonely?
Heaven knows you don't want to talk to them, do you?
That is why you need a curated list of great games you can play together locally. But as you might know, most couch co-op games are funny little indie games, mostly platformers with cutesy little graphics, happy music, and although they can be pretty fun, you wonder why you have bought that expensive console to play something your cell phone could very well pull off too. Good news, I got your back. Here are 8 games you can play on local multiplayer on PS4 and PS5 due to backwards compatibility that actually look great. Okay, now let's start with a classic here. The Tekken series is a classic beat-em-up game which accompanied PlayStation from the very first console model on. And they always pushed the visuals of what was possible on each generation.
Honestly, I'm still amazed how Tekken 5 is a PlayStation 2 game.
Just look at that intro! Asuka's jump on her bike, the rain falling down on Fang's face, it's brilliant. And we're lucky to be alive now where Tekken 7 exists and looks better than ever. You also have a huge canvas of playable characters at hand and even more to unlock if you're buying all those precious DLC. Look, there's also Negan from The Walking Dead, isn't that crazy?
And of course you don't want to play a beat 'em up alone because you want to know who you're beating up.
Play it online and you get your ass whooped before you can even try to remember how this awesome combo works you just practiced for hours. No, what you really want to do is punish your significant other for forcing you to take out the trash. Take that! And it's not that hard to pick up, even for unexperienced players, as people who mindlessly button mash in this game can actually be harder to defeat than someone who wants to pull off certain moves. So it's just guaranteed fun for everyone. Our next entry is a calmer game that focuses more on story. I'm talking about Beyond Two Souls. Granted, that game has a few years on its back as it has originally been released in 2013 on PS3, but has also been remastered for PS4. The game has been developed by Quantic Dream following their great crime story Heavy Rain. Their newest release, Detroit Become Human, is also quite popular, but Beyond Two Souls is the only one with a dedicated local multiplayer mode. There are 2 playable characters, the first being Jodie, played by none other than Ellen Page, who has some sort of mysterious powers as she has a strong connection to an incorporeal entity named Aiden, who is basically a floating orb. Player 2 gets to control him. There's no split screen or anything, you take turns one after the other.
So I guess technically you could still play both Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human the same way, but you would need to physically pass on the controller each time it's a different character's turn, and that just seems to be too much effort really.
And do those other games have Willem Dafoe in them? No, they have not. You know about Astro, the cute little robot who advanced to be the new PlayStation mascot over the past couple of years? Now everyone is talking about the pre-installed PlayStation 5 title Astro's Playroom, which is an absolutely brilliant game. But there has also been a pre-installed PlayStation 4 game simply called The Playroom. The only big difference in terms of accessibility was that you needed to buy a PlayStation Camera 2 to be able to play in The Playroom. And most people understandably didn't. I also only bought the camera when I bought a PSVR bundle. And here's where I'm going with this. There is another successor of the game called the Playroom VR. And that one is awesome for local multiplayer. You can play it with up to 5 people controlling something, and it's just a great party game.
So I recommend this one for bigger households or when this lockdown is over.
But it can be fun with 2 people as well. The brilliant thing about this game is that the one player with the VR headset on sees different things than the players who look at the TV. This allows for fun games with each other, with the TV viewers having to give instructions to the one in VR, or some games against each other, where the VR player is a monster trying to hit the other ones and so on. Also, one of the minigames available inspired Astrobot Rescue Mission, which is still hands down the best VR game yet. And without that one, we probably wouldn't have Astro's Playroom on PS5, or at least we wouldn't love it so much. So check out the Playroom VR with your friends, it's just so much fun. Speaking of extra peripherals you need to play, I got another one for you. You didn't want to buy a PSVR headset or didn't have enough money to do so? Don't worry, for the next one all you need is a phone. I'm sure you got one of these, right?
I'm not talking about these old ones though, with the cable and the turntable to dial a number. Just to be clear.
Hidden Agenda is a Playlink game where you download an app, which is free, you just need to pay for the PlayStation game, and then link it with the game. This one is a crime mystery story where you and your fellow players vote on your phone for the decisions you are going to make. Developed by Supermassive Games, who also brought you Until Dawn, it's needless to say, it looks really good. And it's a haunting story too. What really makes this game fun is that in competitive mode, each player gets a goal only they know about.
So they basically have an agenda, which is hidden. Wait a minute.
So now people might not want to do what could be perceived as the right thing to do, because maybe they want the murderer to get away with it or something. And that's what makes this a really entertaining game. I actually don't know how well known the next couple of characters are in the US, but in Europe everyone knows the Gauls, Asterix and Obelix. And they have a lot of games too. Asterix and Olaf XXL and Asterix and Olaf XXL 2.
Try saying that one 3 times in a row. I dare you.
Both were released back in the PlayStation 2 days, and now both of them have been remastered for PlayStation 4. Unfortunately, they are single-player games, although you have to control both characters of the dynamic duo, which is really stupid if you ask me. But luckily, the developers recognized that mistake as well, so that's why there is Asterix and Obelix XXL 3 now, and it has local multiplayer. And it's great fun. I played it with my girlfriend, and she just loves running into hordes of Romans and punching away merrily. If you want the Platinum Trophy in this one, you need to play it on a high difficulty setting, which can be a little bit tougher, but we still managed to get through the game pretty smoothly, so don't worry about that. And on the subject of punching into crowds of enemies with beloved comic book characters, have you ever heard about One Piece Pirate Warriors?
Yes, I know the One Piece comic books are called mangas. Don't add me in the comments.
There are a total of 4 installments of this series out there so far, the first 2 being only available on PlayStation 3. The most recent one tells the story up until the Wano Kuni arc with Big Mom and Kaido in the game, but telling an alternative story there because the real one hasn't been told to the end yet. But who plays these games for the story?
No one!
We all know and love the story because we read the manga.
See, I know what I'm talking about!
And watched the anime, but we just want to let off steam with all these beloved characters. So just give me an island that reminds me of some place I have experienced in other media, fill them with marine soldiers or other low-bob pirates and just let me punch all of them at once with my devil fruit powers! And for even more fun,
and less to see because split screens,
just play it locally with a friend. Makes things easier and more entertaining. What's not to love? Our penultimate entry comes from Supermassive Games again. They have begun releasing the Dark Pictures anthology with 2 games available right now and more to come. The first installment, Man of Medan, follows a group of young adults making a summer trip on a boat, discovering an old World War II battleship and unveiling the secrets which lurk on that mysterious ghost ship. And similar to how Beyond Two Souls is played, you can assign characters to players and let go of complete control over everyone. This can also be played in online multiplayer with things happening simultaneously, so a playthrough online is a little bit shorter. But this is a list of local multiplayer games, so forget I just said anything.
The second game of the series, Little Hope, has also been released, but I haven't played that one yet, so do not spoil anything.
The last entry has been a PlayStation 4 launch title. Now that the PS5 is here, let's revisit an entry of the previous lineup. I'm talking about Knack. and neck 2 as well. In these games you control the titular character, who is a fun spiky guy who can get really big and really small. And as a second player, you can just jump in the game and leave it whenever you want to. It is so much fun to take on enemy goblin waves with 2 players or see who masters platforming sections faster.
And playing a game with another person is just more fun in general. I mean, that's why you're watching this video anyways.
Also, player 2 cannot really die, so he or she can be a huge help too. Now that a new PlayStation generation is here, I personally really hope for a neck 3, because my girlfriend and I had really enjoyed both of these games. But anyways, that's my list. What local co-op games do you prefer? Which ones, who are no small indie games, because that list is following soon, have I missed? Tell me in the comments, I'm really happy for a few tips. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I have lots of plans for this channel in 2021. Until now, I have only shared uncommented gameplay, but I want to do more of these lists and tell you personal stories about my gaming experiences so far. And of course, I will be talking about trophies a lot. So leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.